All right, this is week 2 of the Road to a Billion series. I kind of skipped out on a week because I was in Whistler, but I'll be including that in this recap. Have a ton of stuff to go over. Huge things happened within the business this week of HighKey Enterprises. Some things personally, some mindset shifts, some emotions that I was feeling throughout the week, being stressed at certain points and what got me through it, doing workouts and what I did during those workouts. So yeah, this can be a sick episode and let's get right into it. The start of this week actually was pretty crazy because what happened is right at the beginning, there was news that came out that the US might be banning TikTok and a bill was being passed for it. Myself and my entire team know that this is huge news and a massive news opportunity. And literally what we do for our clients is getting them secured in tier 1 media placements and TV opportunities by finding unique stories, finding industry leading stories, finding stuff that's viral going on and pitching them as industry leaders of that topic. For example, our team, the topic of the US potentially banning TikTok and seeing that as huge viral potential. And so they pitched myself as like an industry leader in the social media space and industry leader in the branding space and someone who works directly with content creators and TikTok creators specifically. So they pitched me to a lot of different outlets, my in-house publicists and in-house press managers at HighKey. What happened is the next morning when I woke up, I believe this was either on Monday or Tuesday, but literally my email inbox was flooded with news opportunities. And I actually missed one, which was super unfortunate, but I was interviewed by Forbes, Cheddar News, there was a Yahoo interview, and then there were a couple of other data-specific interviews because they wanted to go into the intricacies of how much data is being collected by TikTok, which I don't really know too much about the specifics of how much data TikTok is collecting. I just know that they collect an absolute ton because their algorithms are off the charts and unmatched compared to any other social media platform, where when you're creating content or when you're consuming content on TikTok, it curates the homepage and the media being portrayed completely for exactly what you want. And you probably know this if you use TikTok at all, is that you can easily get stuck in a hole because it's constant dopamine hits with the exact type of content you're wanting to see. After I dealt with a few hours of the pitches and answering very thorough responses back to all of them, they got picked up in the media really quickly. You can see here's the Forbes feature of basically me getting interviewed about the TikTok potential ban, my thoughts on it. This was super cool. And then if any of the other interviews have aired by the time that this video gets posted, they'll probably be put up right here. But then after that, that was about a few hours out of the day. It took a fair amount of time. Then I went into obviously dealing with our clients and working with our clients, working with our fulfillment team, and we have been absolutely crushing it this week. It was actually a really good week in terms of the publicity opportunities that we got for our clients, getting our clients interviews, getting our clients actually featured in publications. And that's on the contrary to the popular belief in the public relations world that December is the worst time to pitch for media. And they think that because Christmas time, New Year's, maybe a firm's taking off time. But how I talk about with my entire team is that December is actually an amazing month because the same amount of media is being published and there's actually less people pitching to all of the writers, all of the contributors, all of the media ops, like in various industries and at various platforms. And so it's actually a huge opportunity in the marketplace to come in and pitch for media. So with that being said, here's a quick example. Like this is our client Garrett right here. Probably will pull up a video right now of his experience with HighKey.
Hey y'all, how's it going? This is Garrett Nolan here. I'm just here to address my recent work with HighKey Enterprises LLC. They're a company that has helped me with my social media career tremendously. Everyone from Ryan and Lauren getting me some really high-end articles online, just to make my businesses look more established and my credibility as an influencer really stand out. And I just want to say that their services are of the best that I've come across in my career in social media. So just want to say thank you very much, HighKey. You did so much for me. So I'm blessed. Thank you.
And just looking at my journal right now, I had a goal of wanting to hit 5 workouts this week. I ended up hitting 4 workouts. What's crazy, and I feel like people can relate to this in terms of when you're growing a business and putting your 100% into a business. When you work out And a problem with being the leader and being the owner of a very scaling and very fast-paced business is that it's hard to have an off switch. And that's something that I've dealt with. Something I continue to deal with is that the off switch can't really be there, and it really sucks, and you have to train on it. I've found meditation to help in the past, and that's actually one of my upcoming goals, definitely for 2023, is to get back into meditation, because it helps me quiet my mind in terms of I train my mind during my work to think and problem solve as quickly as possible, but there needs to be that juxtaposition of calming down your mind at some points, or else it'll just run into eternity, and I don't think that's healthy. During those 4 workouts this week, I actually mainly listened to Alex Hormozi and Layla Hormozi on YouTube. I've watched every single one of their videos up until this point. I'm going to rewatch them practically for the next 5 years, at least until I get up to their level. Just massive respect out to them. They're by far the best content creators in the business world on YouTube. They actually inspired me to create this YouTube channel, not for like a competitive standpoint. I'm purely doing this just straight for documentation purposes, because I want to be able to look back at these vlogs and be able to see what my mindset was like at certain points and how I came to certain decisions and how far I've came, because that's what I did with our YouTube channel, HighKey Co. And we posted vlogs and stuff when we were first getting started in our business 7 years ago. And it was really cool to see how far I've come since then, the type of work that I was working on back then. And so these vlogs will definitely be evolving over time, and the stuff that I'll be including with it. Right now, it's kind of just a rant of basically my week, things that went on, and my thoughts about situations. Next, I wanted to get into a couple of problems that I ran into this week. And this was definitely a week filled with problems, just like how every single other week is with running a high-level business. One of the problems was super annoying. We had the domain at www.hikeyco.com amongst hundreds of other domains that we own. And this domain just happened to be on a Google Domains account that isn't our main domain account. I didn't have the billing details updated on it, and so it didn't auto-renew the email. Basically, it put it back up onto the public register, and then somebody obviously bought it. Yeah, it was super annoying because we actually do need that email address for a lot of our business, because it's tied to like certain crypto exchanges that we have. It was tied to a bunch of things that led to a bunch of different problems. And basically, like, I had to figure out a way to repurchase that domain. And that just taught me about dealing with the intricacies of business and making sure that you're looking at all of the little aspects, because those little things can add up easily over time, even though it was just the one problem. Another problem that I ran into is I planned out my entire weekend at the end of this week. We're heading into the Christmas season, and so I was getting ready to do a lot of organizational work, a lot of higher level tasks, finishing off a lot of stuff that has been on my plate for a bit that I haven't got around to doing. And this weekend took a complete spin of things, where I was having a back and forth with one of our workers over email, and I stepped into a situation where I was giving insight on how to better communicate. I was telling a contractor about how to better communicate and sending videos, sending material of higher level communication. His responses back were very lackadaisical. They weren't showing initiative of wanting to make the changes. But then conversation came up where it started turning into a heated argument over email. This particular contractor sent me an email this weekend that was one of the most rude emails I received in my entire 8 years of business. And it really threw me off. I'm somebody who takes pride in going the extra mile for every single one of our clients and going the extra mile for every single person who works at HighKey. I will continue to do that. It's one of my downfalls that I treat HighKey so personally, where anything that happens within the business, I kind of take personally. It's really hard when a worker says something so harsh when I've gone so far out of my way, and it just crossed the line in so many different ways. And it was right before bed, so I had the opportunity to sleep on it. I didn't make a rash decision in terms of sending a strongly worded email back, and I slept on it, woke up the next morning, realized it was 100% the right decision after bouncing the idea off of a couple of workers and my business partners, aka my brothers, and figuring out that was definitely the right call to fire this person. And so immediately this person was exited off the team. I took away his access across all of the platforms that we have, told the clients that he was working with that he was going on extended holiday, and transitioning them to a new manager. This shows a bunch of different things. So one, I was trying not to get my ego involved and trying to make rational decision. Two, it showed me that even though you have things planned out, for example, plan things out for a weekend, you always have to be available and willing to be 100% flexible if you're going to be in business, because there's new things that arise every single day and you have to handle things in priority sequence as they arise. I'm not sure who told me this, but it was like the one touch policy. I loved it, where basically when something comes onto your plate, you should really try and like one touch it, where basically it comes onto your plate and you finish it immediately right then, instead of thinking about it, writing it down, and then not finishing it, writing it down the next day, not finishing it, writing it down again. If you just get it done right then and there when it comes onto your plate, it's the most likely to get done right then and there, and it's with a fresh mind. I wanted to go into mindset a bit from this week and some of my takeaways. And what I think that's been happening is our business is expanding so rapidly, onboarding new talent, working on an immense amount of new clients. New clients are bringing in referrals, and there's so many different areas of our business that are new. If I look back, say just even a year ago, that are new and completely different. What I happen to see in my mind is that it can get very distracted sometimes and start thinking about so many different things all at once. And it can be a huge problem, because even though I'm getting work done, I might not be getting the most effective work done at times because I'm constantly hopping between tasks. And I think that this is prevalent between a lot of people in society, with the average American's attention span is like less than a goldfish. It's definitely an aspect of social media, having those instantaneous dopamine hits and just getting you to scroll, your attention span being as much as the video in front of you is entertaining. And I think it's training the mind in a very, very poor way. And I could see it in myself, even though I don't consume that much social media content. Practically the only social media content that I consume is the stuff that my social media team sends to me and stuff that team members send to me to basically learn more about those specific platforms for the business. It's really just a complete business tool for me. Even with myself, with it being a complete business tool, I notice and I can catch myself that I have disruptive thought patterns that even when I'm in my deepest focus work, I can see myself getting distracted onto other topics. It's just interesting. And I just wanted to note that for the future, because I think that this is going to always heavily improve because I'm conscious about it. Going into the end of the week, we had a pretty crazy end to the week. It was awesome. I was in San Diego. I was lucky enough to set up interviews at ABC and Fox. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Luke Lintz from HighKey Enterprises. Today, we are at 10 News ABC doing a TV interview, and this is a good representation of what we do for our clients. We get them featured in top ranking publications, tier 1 media, tier 1 coverage over different platforms, different TV placements. And what it does is it exposes your brand to different markets, gets you ranking right at the top of Google, which is exactly what you want, and it builds trust with your community. So that's what we're doing today, and this is what we do for our clients. Both those TV networks are awesome TV networks. I appreciate them so much for having me on, interviewing me about social media, about HighKey Enterprises, about public relations. If those videos are finished, or like at least we have some behind the scenes clips, I will put them up here. Hopefully they're finished and I can put up one of the interviews or like part of the interviews just up here so that it can be fit into this video. But yeah, they were great interviews. It was awesome. Great cap to the week. I was super nervous for them. Even though I've been on a lot of TV interviews, been interviewed by a lot of tier 1 publications, I was actually never on set at a TV station because I just started getting rapidly interviewed by TV placements, publications, all the above during COVID and past COVID. And so I never really got the opportunity to be on set. It just so happened that I was in San Diego when that happened. So it was a perfect fit. And yeah, it turned out amazing. This is Luke Lintz here, CEO of HighKey Enterprises. I'm on the set of Fox 5 right now. Just did a crazy interview about social media trends, about the modern day public relations, and the publicity that businesses deserve going into 2023, how complicated social media is, and how most businesses should be hiring outsourced for a social media company to help take over their presence and take it to new levels in the new year. But guys, if you're interested in public relations at all, interested in ranking at the top of Google with tier 1 media coverage, just send us a DM, click the link below, send us a DM, and we'll talk about more details. And that's pretty much wrap to things, wrap to the second week of Road to a Billion. This series is super fun for me. It's super motivating. I've had these goals and these aspirations in my mind and in my journals for a very, very long time. And it's just cool to be documenting the process now on video. But one final thought. In one of Alex Hormozi's videos that I watched of something, a quote that really stuck with me, is that your failures are only as bad as you make them. This is like a rough representation of his quote, but the failure isn't actually that bad if you look at it from a bird's eye view. And it's really just the connotation that you put on that failure and that you think about for yourself. That really stuck with me because I reflected on a lot of my failures over the past bit. And like if I'm looking at the past like 6 months, and they actually weren't that bad of failures, even though I punished myself in my mind being like, why'd you make that? Why'd you make that mistake? When it's literally all part of the game, all part of being human, all part of the business. Just having that in my mind constantly, because failures come up on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, some bigger, some smaller, and just having that mindset is huge. Well, thanks if you watch this full video. Don't really expect anybody to watch this video at all, but looking forward to looking back on this at the Billy level and seeing how far I've come. Cool. This is week 2, Road to a Billion. Peace.